This doesn't go, this doesn't give us any problems on any platforms. Awesome. Hey, everybody. This is Rama from our Stop Shop, and we are doing our weekly live. Today's live is going to be about passive income hacks. Um, and we're going to be discussing a number of them that you can do at with any knowledge level. Some of them you will be able to utilize. Other ones will require for you to have a little bit more information or resources. We want to we want to do a warm welcome to our Clubhouse community. This is the first live. We will also be streaming on Clubhouse along with Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So, welcome to the family for everybody joining in. So, we're ready to hop into it because there's a number of passive income hacks we'll be covering today, which I'm really excited about. And so, we're going to start off with the most basic one, in my opinion. Um, we encourage everybody to prioritize credit. We encourage everybody to learn about credit, build their credit, and then utilize it as a tool. As all money should be used. So the first one we're gonna hop into is trade lines. Trade lines is a great passive income source. It allows for you to make money off of taking your credit seriously, and so that this is one of the ones we probably love the most, just because it's cut and dry. Trade lines allow for you to help other people build their credit or work towards achieving specific credit goals they have by giving them access to claim your credit history on their credit report for a period of time. What do I mean by that? So, if you have ever had a traditional credit card, you know that you can add an authorized user. Authorized user is just somebody you permit to either utilize the card that you have, or in the text context of trade lines, allows for their allow for their social security number to be attached to that credit card you hold as a authorized user. This does not mean they actually have to be able to utilize the card, but the asset to them being put on as an authorized user is all of the history connected to that specific credit card now starts to populate on their credit report. So if you've had that card for 10 years, the 10 years of back history on that credit card will populate in their credit card. If it's been in good standing and you've had these real long lists, long high credit limits and things like that, they now show all of this credit worthiness on their report because they're now listed as an authorized user on that credit card. So trade lines are a really great way that a lot of people utilize to start working towards their own personal credit goals. I know a number of people actually, fresh out of prison after doing long bids, they have no credit history. Great way for them to be able to start to kick their credit into high gear is get a couple of trade lines they can be put on. Being put on those trade lines is going to allow for them to have all this credit history now attached to their social security number, despite the fact that they haven't actually had any activity transpiring with their credit, because they weren't in a situation that permitted it. And that typically, if you get the right types of trade lines with that age of credit history and the good credit utilization, that is an easy way to go from 0 to 700, 750. So we love trade lines, and trade lines can be very lucrative because people are willing to invest in building credit quicker. They're willing to pay anywhere from, a couple of $100s to thousands of dollars to just be able to have access to your good credit practices showing up on their credit report, to the 10, 15, 5. And it doesn't have to be a long period of time. You could easily have a credit card where you just have maybe a $5,000, $10,000 limit. Um, and you just kept that card in good standing for a year, 3 years, 5 years. Somebody who has trash credit, or who has never had a credit card in their lives, being able to have that show up on their credit report can get them into a place where they're getting pre-approved for credit limits higher than the standard 300 or 500 or $1,000 card they would be with no prior um, proof of trustworthiness with revolving lines of credit. So trade lines are a super lucrative way, and it does not require you to do much at all once you make them an authorized user, and allow for them to just claim your credit history to earn that income. So trade lines are a really great passive way. Another way that we love is advertising. You know, everywhere you go, you see somebody promoting something, you see billboards, you see signage, you see something along the lines to motivate you to want to spend money, participate in that. Everything from a McDonald's cheeseburger on a in a picture to, you know, new clothing or something of that nature. So advertising in that sense can be very expensive, right? They're billboards, they're huge posters, stuff like that. But there are passive ways to advertise. You can advertise with what you're wearing. You having something with a logo on it, it can be a form of advertising. A very common labeling for that one will be brand ambassadors, right? So they're the brand ambassadors that stand on the front lines and represent and do talking points for companies. But then there are the brand ambassadors that just rock your brand and is able to help generate pop support, things like that, just by being the face of your brand. So advertising in that way can be super lucrative and super passive. You're just doing what you've always done. You're just doing it for a brand that's willing to pay you some money to be the face of their brand, whether it's actively or passively in the sense of just wearing it. Another form of advertising that's super passive is just putting something on your items. So it may be as simple as you having a sticker on the back of your phone case, which you always have out, which you're always doing stuff with, or it could be a car magnet. We love the car magnets because they're super inexpensive to acquire, and they are they have long term sustainability on the vehicles you put them on, and everybody who your vehicle cross paths with now becomes subjected to that marketing. If you're at a red light, trust and believe people are not focused on that light turning green. They are looking around, they being nosy, they seeing who's to their left, who's to their right. You easily become a mobile advertisement just by having that car magnet on your vehicle, or that car sticker on your, or that decal on your window or something of that nature. That can be super lucrative. If you're a person that's always on the go, it becomes very beneficial to a business or a person trying to build their brand, or somebody just trying to get their name out there. You hear that a lot. I'm just trying to get my name out there. I'm just trying to get my company name out there. Yada yada. That can be super lucrative for you to help them reach hundreds, if not thousands of people very quickly. And that can be a lot of cash flow for their companies. Meanwhile, you just got this thing posted up. You almost forget about it. You know, when I'm vibing out to my music, I forget why people are staring at my car sometimes, because we have the car magnets on the car. So the car magnet play can be a very lucrative one. You can easily, let me give you a good example, right? If you drive 10 hours a week, or say let's say you drive 10 hours a week. Very simple, right? But you said the audio isn't working? Oh man. Hold up. Um, is everybody else able to hear on the other platforms? Because now I'm nervous. Got it. That's why you can't hear it. That's why you can't hear it. 1 second. We're gonna fix it. That's the business phone, Thomas. I need you to pull the business phone off of. I'm gonna say Clubhouse, because that's the one that's having the problem. So, give me come around this way. So, give me a second. Sorry, guys. Okay, so it was this. Give me 1 second, y'all. My apologies about that. So it's Clubhouse betraying us. My bad, y'all. Mm-mm. Oh, I accidentally hung up on Facebook. That's real bad. My apologies. Technical difficulties. I do apologize for the technical difficulty. Okay. So now we should be working it out without a problem. We just got to get back into Facebook real fast to allow for us to continue on. So my apologies. Okay, Thomas, you can put this back. Be very careful about it. All right. So if since everybody else can still hear us, I'm gonna hop back into it. Nima, come help Thomas. hold the light so it doesn't knock everything out of place while he works on his technical. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties do happen. My apologies, y'all. All right, so next one is going to be advertisement. Advertisement is one of those that you can, I mean, super easily make into a cash cow for you. What do I mean? Okay, so you, as we shared with one of our reels on Instagram, a portion of the Buy Black Market's advertising budget now pays for a couple of the cars because we got some car magnets printed up, and we utilize those car magnets as mobile billboards everywhere we go for the Buy Black Market. I'm gonna give y'all a prime example of how that became ultimately something that made its own money. We love to support these mobile food trucks, and I'm gonna keep this example very simple to get back to the money example that I wanted to give you guys. We keep out so we love to support the mobile food trucks. It's a number of mobile food trucks that stay out in these streets, especially throughout the weekend, starting Thursday all the way through Sunday. One of the ones we love the most is Tropical Delight, right? So they were a vendor at the April Black Market. Typically, when we see them, we pull up, we show love, we always tip well. Anyway, we were having a conversation while I was having a conversation randomly with one of the customers also at the food truck. And it just so happened to come up about the Buy Black Market. Yeah, we do these huge events catered towards empowering at least 400 different Black businesses over the course of a weekend. The lady was like, "Oh, well, how do I support it? How do I know when to show up? Yada yada yada." I said, "Oh, I have a card, but my card doesn't capture that, right?" I said, "But if we walk around your car, because I was parked to the side of her, you can scan the QR code. You scan the QR code, it's going to take you to everything you need. You can see the event page from there. You can see the businesses that are confirmed. You can, even if you are a small business, this is your way to tap into it. And you can easily share that link now from your phone to whoever you need to share it with. Boom. That became a moment where instantaneously everything that needs to be done to market the Buy Black Market was accessible at the drop of a dime just from her pulling her camera up real fast. Right. And I didn't have to explain it in detail, explain what it is, where it happens, all of those things. The QR code on the side of the card did it for itself. And she didn't have to work hard because the QR code is easily like this big. Like, you know, um, so that became a super easy way to just get that point of cost. Now, for that person who didn't see it first, there's easily 10 to 50 people who see it when we're parked at the grocery store, at random places. We almost forget why people stop at our car until we see them with their phones out or stuff like that, scanning the QR code, and they're like, "Oh yeah." But here's another example of advertising. So for us, it allowed for us to take some expenses we already had in our book and make them into revenue streams. But there are other ways. Say you do Uber Eats, or say you do DoorDash, right? Or say you do Shipped, one of these independent contractor things. Now, those things, your car technically doesn't have that huge impact on you, but there are places you always have to go. You're always on the go. You're always in new environments. You have no idea who your customer base will be more often than not in those situations, right? Say you do Amazon, because not only does Amazon have the trucks, they have the people to do the same day deliveries in regular vehicles. Okay, so if you're like, I drive, say you commit 10 hours a day doing one of these delivery services or mixing and matching these delivery services. Well, you can easily offer, just like a cab company would say, I do 10 hours a day. These are the environments that I most likely frequent in. I notice at least this ballpark of people I cross paths with because of the hours I do it. You can easily be like, you can pay me $20 a day. 20, yeah, let's say $20 a day, or let's say $50 a week. You can pay me $50 a week, and I'll put whatever promotional info about your business or about your product onto the side of my car, right? And they can easily, here's the thing that we love, I don't want to get too far off base, but this is why we encourage everybody to have a landing page, because what they could easily do, right, They can create a landing page, a super basic one that mirrors what the business cares about. They can create a QR code exclusively for that landing page. The landing page on the back end is going to allow for them to track the traffic, right? Without you having to do too much work. And that QR code can be tossed on a magnet and put in your car. Every person that scans or accesses that page is accessing it because that landing page is connected to the QR code. So they can see how their that little bit of advertisement market budget that you've given them, or that price point for the advertising has converted into lead generations or converted into sales for them, right? That becomes something that as people start to see the results, they're willing to invest in you even. They're willing to invest even more, and so it becomes a super easy passive income stream. You put it on your car, you leave it and forget about it until it stops being an income source, and then you could easily swap it out. You know, a lot of businesses, they may already have that, so they don't even have to pay for the magnet or the sticker or the vinyl. You know, it's so many ways for them to do it, but you could have one of those on every single door in your car. You can have something on the hood of your car. I'm going to say the doors because it's easier to see the doors from most angles than the hood, or even a window. The windows are just equally, so you can have every window with the vinyl, the see-through vinyl for you, but it has some type of logo on it, and your whole car can now be an income source. Say you do that for 8 people. Say every single, both side windows on both sides, and all 4 doors are covered in different things. That's now 8 income streams that you have the ability to generate off of one car that you're using for a whole nother purpose. You get what I'm saying? So that's another one. Advertising is a very lucrative one passively in a lot of ways. And then another one is going to be life insurance. Life insurance is one of those things that everybody is encouraged to get because you are definitely going to die. You know, but the awesome thing about life insurance, about outside of the life insurance policies you need for yourself, is life insurance is the one policy you will never pay more into than what you get paid out as a premium. Point blank, period. Now, in the event you use it exclusively as a income source, you can invest in life insurance policies on other people's lives. You know, as people get older, those huge life insurance policies, they don't need them anymore, so they're willing to sell them. You can become a life insurance policy owner for a policy not even on your life, right? And then the awesome thing about a number of life insurance policies, you have the option to set it up where you can earn dividend income off of it, quarterly, annually, things of that nature. So you can receive residual income off of it while you're just owning it and holding onto it. And then when God forbids that person pass away, you're going to get that huge premium payout, and that can be super lucrative for you too. Now, the other thing we love about life insurance, which we always encourage, you can use it as an investment avenue. You can use it to tap into capital for investment strategies while still alive as well. So you can always borrow against your life insurance policy to get traditional lending from banks and things of that nature. It doesn't get discussed enough, but it is an option. But in this sense, we're talking about generating the passive income from it through the dividends and through just paying this premium and allowing for this huge payout to come to you when you know that demise is reached. So life insurance is a great passive income source as well. And then private money lending. So while you can rent your trade lines as a passive income source without having to ever leverage the money or put the money at risk, there are a number of people, ourselves included, that use our credit cards and lines of credits as financing for other people. We'll help fund deals. We'll help fund projects, things of that nature. We'll allow for them to utilize our credit available to us. They'll be charged the interest fee on top of it, and they'll pay it back to us. So, say they borrow $1,000 from us, we may charge 5%, 10% interest, right? We made $100 off of allowing for you to use $1,000, and we didn't have to do anything, and that money came back to the credit card. So now that credit card is showing activity, because credit cards, something super important to acknowledge in the credit building strategy is, if you don't use credit, you can lose credit. Like a lot of inactivity on a credit limit, a high credit card with no activity on it, could cause them to close the account due to inactivity, or it can cause them to lower your limit if you barely use any credit on that card. So having somebody utilize your lines of credit as a private money lending source can be very mutually lucrative. And in our case, not only do we make that 10%, right, off of lending that person that money off the card, we also generate the cash back from them using money on that card. Because what do we teach? We teach you only have things in your possession to give you a ROI. So every time that card gets swiped, it's already earning us at least 1 5 to 6% back. In my case, at this point, I'm earning close to 25% back because of I buy stuff on cards that have specific incentives attached to it for certain types of things as well. So that private money lending thing can also be a great thing. And it doesn't just have to be done with a credit card. We like to do it with the credit cards the most because we're leveraging other people's money to help us generate money through another third party. So um, it doesn't really put as much liability on us. Now, granted, you can be a private money lender with cash, but we believe credit is king, not cash. So the cash, it puts a little bit more liability on you. Now, in the event you have business credit, which we also have, that makes it even better because you can literally do the strategy and execute it through a separate company utilizing business credit. So you're really leveraging other people's money with literally almost no liability to yourself whatsoever. So yeah, that's another one we love to emphasize. Private money lending can be very passive. Another way to private money lend that I'm a roll into is REITs, real estate investment trusts. They come in many forms. The most common way that people invest in REITs, real estate investment trusts, are usually through the stock market because they typically come with quarterly income, a quarterly, monthly, or annual income. More often than not, you're able to claim a lot of the same real estate investment deductions that physical real estate investing will allow you to do. So that's one of the things. Another reason why REIT investing that can be a passive income source is we do a lot of private REIT investing. What we mean by that is people working on more private projects. It allows for us to be the bank, right? So instead of them going to the bank for those loans to fund those projects, to buy that land, yada yada yada, they'll do small capital raises that allow either um inexperienced investors or experienced investors making with a certain net worth to be able to invest in them, and they're able to give you higher returns. One of the projects we love is a project happening, it's actually two different projects happening down in Houston, but one of them we love more than the other because you can invest with her a minimum of $1,000 and the returns are 20%. So if you do that math, you invested for a year, you do that math, you see at least a 20% return. If I put in $1,000, that means I'm getting $1,200 back. If I put in $10,000, that means I'm getting $12,000 back, and so forth. And the higher the numbers go, the more lucrative it becomes for you. And I literally don't have to do anything. The money is working for me, but I'm able to generate the revenue. Now, typically, when you're doing those types of investments, you're investing money that you have time on you at your disposal to be able to wait for it to come back to you. So I do want to put an emphasis on that because it's a little bit different than Thomas. This is dead. Is I do want to. Oh, maybe not. I do want to put an emphasis on that because that is a little bit different than you investing um actively and you being able to tap into it at the drop of a hand, right? So this private real estate investment, you get a note and you have a year before you can cash in on the note. So it can be very, very lucrative if you have money sitting, but it can be hard for you to commit to seeing those types of returns in the event you're strapped for cash or you're trying to figure out how to get money quicker. So that's one of those that we love to invest in REITs because it allows for your money to sit while you make money passively throughout the year, throughout the months, whatever. Um, one of the other dividend plays while we're still talking about that is gonna be stocks as well. Dividends can easily be a passive income hack. So some of the ones I'm most heavy invested in are MLS. So those are like oil companies, right? They do different types of stuff with oil. They have, at this point, I want to say I'm close to 10% dividend returns. If you don't know anything, typically any growth over 6% is outpacing the market. Okay. Anything over 6% is outpacing the market. So for you to be able to see 10% returns is, or 20% returns is a monster. You're literally beating inflation at that point, and that's what you need to be. Right now, if you are waiting for, if you are basing your earning potential off of what interest rates are in a bank account, most traditional bank accounts, your savings or your checking, your inflation is going to kick your ass when it comes to the money you have, the value of your money. Your money is decreasing in value, right? So you need to have passive income sources that are giving you higher returns than inflation. And that requires for you to really get to that 10% plus mark to really start to see that. So we love the dividend plays, but we don't just focus on dividend plays. We focus on dividend plays with high yields, i.e., like you're up in double digit percentages, but reliable digit percentages. Most common ways that people feed in the dividends are going to be either through stocks, through real estate, through private money lending. Those are going to be the most common ways, right? But then another passive income source is going to be cash flow. Cash flow is king. That allows for your money to constantly generate you more money. It's not, cash flow is a little different than dividends in the sense that more often than not, cash flow is attached to being dependent on other people for high volumes like rent, you know, like, or Airbnb. Like the cash flow is there, right? Your money is invested in this property, but this property generates money by somebody else being willing to pay or being able to pay. So cash flow from rent is going to be you being able to charge an amount that exceeds what you already have to pay, and that difference is considered the cash flow. So say you own a property, you own a, we're gonna go with a house. You own a house. The house is $1,000 a month. You're able to charge, because of the value of the house, the quality of the house, things. You're able to charge 1,500 a month. Okay, well that $500 buffer is gonna be what's considered cash flow. Now it's not gonna be exact. Let's be real, because there are other expenses to factor in. But the cash flow is gonna be what makes that a valuable asset. But the more important thing is what you do with the cash flow. Does that cash flow have the ability to do more stuff, leverage, and get you to another place of even more passive income? Because $500 isn't much. Nobody's about to live off $500 in today. But cash flow is going to be another passive income source. So rent might be one of those. Airbnbs might be one of those, right? You can own property. You can have somebody else manage it for you, right? So you cut them a piece for managing it. You can have a third party clean it for you. So you cut them a piece for cleaning it for you. You can have some, and so the property manager might handle the Airbnb listings and the bookings and the pricing. The cleaning company will handle all of the service fees in between to keep it tidy. Security might be a factor if you want to make sure the place remains safe and in good standing and things of that nature, right? So those would be the three things, and you just get the difference. Whatever the difference is in sales or revenue generated within a month or a couple of weeks, yada yada yada, that'll be your cut that comes back to you after all the bills are paid. So Airbnbs can be a great one too. Awesome thing that I'm starting to see about Airbnb is it's not staying exclusive to houses. You're about to start, you're really starting to be able to Airbnb out a lot of stuff, boats, tents, land. You're getting to a place where like RV space for people to be able to post up, concert space. I'm starting to see another one that's similar to Airbnb but isn't Airbnb, that just caters towards RV rentals, right? Another one like that is car rentals, personal vehicle rentals, like Turo. Turo is another one where it's like, say you work a type of job where you only need your car 2 days a week. Well, you can technically rent your car out on Turo the rest of that week, and those rentals can start to pay off your car payment for you and put a little bit more cash flow into your pocket. Just the rental model in itself can be very lucrative, right? Um, and at this point, we're seeing all these pop-up shops. So if you own land, just to be able to allow somebody to have conduct an event or something on your land can be lucrative. One of the things that we used to post about a lot, and we'll probably start posting about again, is this guy who does fish fry pop-up shops in this neighborhood not too far from NCCU. It is just a really jank plot of land. It's just some dirt and grass on a plot of land. He brings his own tents out. He brings his own generator out. He brings his own fryers out, everything. So when he's there, he's there. When he's not, you have no idea that it happens there unless you cross paths with it prior, right? So just being able to rent out space, outdoor space or indoor space, can be a huge passive income hack, because sometimes all people need is just a space and an opportunity. So it's important to take heed to that one too. And then what's another one? Digital products. A really great passive income tool is a digital product. So what do I mean by digital products? Digital products can be anything. It can be anything from like a contract that you have already conducted that somebody can download. It can be videos, it can be tutorials, it can be virtual consults. But at this point, we're talking about passive stuff, not active stuff. So it can be courses, it can be books, it can be Thomas, what's something, a digital product that you've used? It can be virtual trainings, right? Like workout videos, stuff like that, tutorials. Think just anything that has the capacity to be packaged and accessible on demand for people who want to purchase it without you having to be relied on in the moment to do so. A digital product that I'm going to claim today is the Buy Black Market. Right, the Buy Black Market is a physical event that transpires at a space. But anybody who signed up for the Buy Black Market knows that they don't need to talk to us to do so. The entire process is streamlined online and it's automated, right? From the time you read about what it's about, to the time you fill out the form, to the time you get the email, to the time you review the video walking you through the next steps so you can do it right, from the time you select everything you require, pay for it, get your official vendor confirmation. It is a digital product from the beginning to the end. The only time it gets physical is when it's time for you to show up on the spot. But the experience from the beginning, from the advertisement all the way down to finalizing your slot, is a digital product process. It does not require anything from us. Our free masterclass is a digital product. The 11 money saving and income generating hacks masterclass, it's a digital product. You don't have to rely on us to show up. There's a digital version of it that you can opt into, and it'll be emailed to you, and you can review it at your disposal whenever is most convenient for you. You can sit through it all at once. You can sit through it in portions, even though it's only an hour. So that's a digital product. It allows for you to do stuff without you having to rely on the physical person to execute on it. So we love digital products. They can be very lucrative. If you're adding value, it makes it even easier for people to tap into your digital products, because it allows for them to get even more from you, even if you're not available. Right. So we constantly create digital products that are beneficial to the community, that allows for us to be able to reach those who need it even when we're not available. So a digital product is a great passive income stream. I've seen prices for digital products vary anywhere from free all the way up to $5,000 at this point. I know that there are even more expensive ones than that, but the $5,000 one is the best one. Um, the $5,000 mark one is the best one that I've reviewed, that I would even acknowledge as a quality digital product, right? It can be a Facebook group. Digital products um, aren't just items that do a specific thing. It it can be a community, like a Facebook group. I've seen people charge, or Facebook or social media group, a private group in general. People just charge to have access to a community or access to a space where like-minded people or things like that are. So digital products can drastically vary, and it's just about figuring out what of value you're able to contribute when it comes to the digital product move. And then the final thing is merch. Like our shirt, y'all see us rocking you see me rocking the Black and Breaking the Cycle shirt right now, right? We just posted a reel yesterday while I was listening to the Cycle song by Jonathan Reynolds. And for me, that song really heavily um resonates with me like almost annually. We're coming up on an anniversary right now that weighs heavy on my heart. And so for me, there are little things that I notice, and I realize those cycles aren't just connected to depression and anxiety and things like that. Those cycles are sometimes habits that people uphold. You know, they go through a roller coaster in life where they have their ups where they're flexing and they're flossing, usually tax refund season or something like that, right? And then they have their down moments where they don't have no income and they're struggling and they just need help, and so merch can be a big one. Merch, just reinforcing messages and things we believe in. When we talk about our shirts, we don't talk about them as just merchandise for people to have or something for people to buy. For us, we believe it's a lighthouse. It allows for us to be able to reach those groups and bring awareness to what we're capable of contributing to our community, even when we're not present. But merch is something that can be a great passive income source, right? Because you can buy our shirts at any point online through our site. You can buy it. You can pre-order our shorts. You can buy them in bulk, and they'll come to your doorstep without you having to show up at an event for us, without you having to catch us in the streets and tell us you like our shirt and ask us how to get it. It is a passive thing that anybody can support, anybody can tap into, and they're messages that that allow for us to find those who are a part of our tribe and who are like-minded in our community that believes in what we believe in and who want to uphold it in the moves they make. So merchandise can be a great one. I just recommend you put some thought into the merchandise you produce so you don't find it being a waste of money. But also there are ways for you to do merchandise without the upfront expenses like drop shipping or put drop shipping is going to be a big one, or made to order sales, right? So that's when we create the product, you click on the product you like, the sizes you like, and it's made specifically to order based on the quantities, the sizes, and the colors you require, versus somebody having to produce all of this product, not knowing how to house it, store it, anything. That drop shipping type of merch production is even more lucrative because it doesn't require any upfront money. You just receive the profit difference in the cost and in the sale price and the cost of creation. So that's one of the best ones you can do. If you are creating something of substance, it allows for you to reinforce the culture or the beliefs or the messages you have, and it also allows for you to reach further without physically being able to go there, without you having to say something, without your face having to be present to even get your message out. So yeah, so hopefully those passive income hacks helped. There were a couple of other ones we wanted to dive into, but we're not going to dive into them today because this has been long enough. This has been 45 minutes of nonstop information. So unless, do any of you guys have any questions? Because I see folks on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our YouTube, and it looks like we got some folks in Clubhouse. So does anybody have any questions about any of the income hacks, any ways to execute on them, any ways to maybe personalize them to some extent to utilize them in their own lives? Nothing. Cool. Um, well, we're always here. We just want to encourage people. We possess a lot of information, but there's so much more information that can never really be adequately captured in one of these Money Monday lives. We're going to constantly do these, share the information, and build with our own. But we encourage y'all, if y'all ever have questions, it's always a great idea for you to check out our free 11 money saving and income generating hacks masterclass. It's virtual. You can view it at your discretion whenever it's most convenient for you. You can watch it all in 1 hour slot, or you can break it up as you need and just re-access it as many times as you want. We encourage people to do that. We want to remind you guys that we do the Get Your Life course, which goes from the beginning to the end to be able to build wealth sustainably. And then the awesome part about it is you come into a culture. Like The hardest thing about learning the information and executing on information like what we constantly share is you got to find your tribe. Like-minded people help your iron stay sharpened. People who discourage you will allow for you to take all of this in and sit on a gold mine. Would you ever sit on a gold mine? If you knew that you were sitting on top of diamonds that were worth millions, would you do that if you knew, if you could fathom all the things you can use that money for? No, you wouldn't. So this type of information is the type of information that can transform your life, but it requires for you to be in a position to be able to execute. Just knowing the information is worthless. The value starts to show up in your life when you execute on it. That's how the buy black market was able to happen. That's how we were able to do property acquisitions. That's how we were able to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit. That's how we were able to get from a place of scarcity to doing whatever we want whenever we want and being able to invest in our community more. So we love you guys to life. This is tonight's Money Monday Live. We're wrapping it up here. And feel free to leave any comments, thoughts, questions about this live, or reach out to us because there are a few complimentary consults we offer as well. And we shall see you guys next week.